Hi, Yulia.
Hi, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm very thankful that you accepted the invitation to talk to me on Beyond the Dance Floor. And I'm very happy to see you here. And I would like to know where you are, how you are dealing with the coronavirus, and how do you feel about the whole situation?
Well, at the moment, already for a month and a half, I'm in London at home. Um, I'm dealing personally quite okay with the situation. I'm putting on the side all the bad part about it, all the fact that people are not healthy and it is dangerous and it's never known when it's going to end. So it's, of course, a sad part about it, but honestly, I want to focus on the positive side of it. I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm still active, I'm practicing, I'm working out, keeping myself busy, so I'm okay.
Okay, so you feel you're actually quite positive despite everything that is negative around it.
Well, they say if you cannot do anything about the situation, you have to just accept it and, live your life as it is. Of course, there's nothing I can do about what's going on in the world. I can only deal with how I can deal with it for myself. And all I can do is just enjoy however I can my daily life. So this is how I see it.
Okay. How do you cope with the fact that there is no clear plan about when you're able to come back to the competitions or doing your shows or traveling for that matter? And in terms of practice as well, how do you deal with this uncertainty? Do you feel it demotivates you in terms of, you don't know what it is that you are preparing for, or are you taking this time to do something different from what you would normally do?
So I actually do miss a little bit dancing in public view, let's put it this way, because they say an art form is never complete until it has been exposed to people to actually observe it and make an opinion about it. So I do miss this part about being in the public's view and having an audience, because I actually love to perform. But in terms of my personal training and my personal preparation and practices, I find it actually good because I finally have the time to dig deeper into certain subjects that I sometimes don't have enough time because of the tight schedules of traveling or shows or competitions. So it's actually not a bad thing if you look at it from a positive side.
Yeah. Okay. So would you give the advice to people who are stuck at home and watching your interview here, maybe? What kind of advice can you give them in terms of what can they do? How can they spend this time in the most productive way in terms of the practice, considering that they probably have a very little space to practice on and, of course, no access to lessons, but probably online resources?
Well, first of all, I'll just say how I deal with it. I bought like a little calendar, daily calendar, and I fill it up daily what I want to do, what I want to achieve. It could be a very simple goal. I don't know, today I'll do stretching and something else and something else. So for me, the main thing is to find the normality within abnormal situation. Mm-hmm. So yes, we are restricted. Yes, we are not able to do many things, but at the same time, there's so much things online besides our Latin American or ballroom dancing. There's ballet dances, there's yoga, there's contemporary dances, there's classes. Research and find something that you're maybe passionate about or what you would love to try. And honestly, let's say I did few lessons of ballet class. You don't need much space. You need a chair. Yeah. You need your socks and full attention for an hour and a half. That's all you need. And concentrate and try to do your thing. You can actually improve many things: your core, your posture, your leg strength. So be creative with that. Yeah. Use your imagination. What was always your dream to try, and that you could try it right now. Yeah. Do things never done, or just simply do exercises that require for your Latin American dancing. There's as well quite a lot of things online you can find.
Of course, yeah. So it can be as well a blessing in disguise, the situation. Maybe suddenly you find the time for things which you could never wanted to, which you always wanted to do, but could never find the time. And suddenly this situation gives you the opportunity to actually try something new and maybe discover things about yourself, yeah, that you haven't actually had the opportunity to search for, maybe.
I believe so. I actually went through my 20,000 pictures / videos on my phone, and I just did like a little analysis. What I like, what I don't like, what I feel needs to be improved, what has been improving over the years, what hasn't been improving over the years. So even just to, how to say, backtrack a little bit and check what was missing maybe. So that personal research, which sometimes on a daily basis, when you're so busy, you want to do it, but you never just get the chance to do it. Yeah. So why not do it right now?
Absolutely. And you're always preparing for something else. You're always preparing for the next competition. You're always preparing for the next show. So maybe you are not removed from the situation enough to actually see what it is that you need to do. And now exactly, this is the perfect opportunity to go into yourself as well and to analyze your own work.
Absolutely.
Your own development. Perfect. Okay. If you would be to use one word to describe yourself, what would that word be?
Mad. I am mad. I'm completely mad. I'm okay with it. I've learned how to live with my madness. And luckily I have a husband who learned how to live with it as well.
Yeah, that is a very important part, that the husband is on board with the whole situation.
Absolutely.
Accepting of the fact. Okay. So coming to your husband and yourself, I see on Instagram, and of course when we had conversations as well, we've spoken about the fact that you are doing a lot of fitness, both of you, and you're committed to some planned fitness regime, whatever it is that we call it. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? What do you feel it gives you? Why you are doing it? And if you have any advice to people who are, for example, again, watching your social media and thinking, oh, you know, the successful dancers, someone that I admire, they're doing a lot of fitness, I'll go to the gym and work out. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
So again, I'll speak for myself. Why I started it is I danced one of the big important competitions. And by the end of the competition, although the preparation was really a good preparation, we did the rounds, we ate healthy, we did our practices. So we did the usual, normal, good preparation for an important event. Yeah. And yet by the end of the competition, I actually felt exhausted and unable to perform. I was just surviving. So, you know, that's a huge difference between you're there, you are there, you're dancing, you are kind of still moving, but the other thing, you actually focused on something else. Yeah. So that's what kicked my head into, I probably need some extra help to be able to not get into that state when I have to just survive. Mm-hmm. And then we started the preparation for, it was from the UK, and then we went into preparation for Blackpool. Yeah. We asked for help from a very professional, a great physical trainer. Mm-hmm. This is what I would always advise. Don't do it for yourself. You think you know things, but unless you have been studying it and you really know what you're talking about, better not to try things just with no expertise. Okay. I actually did this one time just before we started to do the workout with our trainer. I saw some kind of workout of speedy exercises online. So that hurt my knee. For like a month, I was struggling with the knee because I did the exercises wrong. So, yes. So yeah, we got a professional guy. So he prepared a certain program that has different aspects. It takes care of your stamina, so how your heartbeat reacts to in the long term or in the short term. So the way that you exercise your heart to work. Then of course it brings the oxygen and everything else. Then we have a strength exercises, which helps you to actually have a better balance, better coordination. And then we have a speedy exercises, which helps you to have a reactive motions. So it was quite a complex thing. I tell you the truth, it was very hard at the beginning, very suffering. And this trainer, actually, he was considered to be one of the toughest one. And many of our friends, colleagues, they have stopped working with him because he was too tough. Yes, it was the case. With me, it's never like this. I'm a freaking all-in person. So usually I get the messages from him. He's asking me, Yulia, are you having rest? Did you have enough recovery days? Stop it. Right now, you don't need to do anything anymore. So,
okay, so you are self-motivating. You're pushing yourself to do.
Yeah. I have to say, though, it gives you an extra edge.
Yeah.
It gives you an extra edge. Yes, to be confident that your body is in charge. Another very important point I feel is that you should not ever substitute your dancing with physical preparation. It never is the case, because you don't want to. Yes, you have to do your dancing as your dancing usually goes, your practices, your lessons, your training, as it is. On top of it, it is helpful, at least I find very helpful, to do some extra work guided by a professional person to help you to get through the 6-7 rounds that you're required to do.
Yeah. Okay. So you are busy, like you say, you don't substitute your dance practice with your fitness practice. So you have to find the time for both. You are traveling for work, you're traveling for competitions, you're traveling for lessons, all sort of things. Basically, you're traveling all the time. Because let's be honest about it, you also need to earn money, you need to have a life, you have to pay for a lot of things. How do you find that balance between not sacrificing the practice and not thinking, okay, I will do this and this and this because I need to earn money, but at the same time I need to develop, I need to improve, I need to think of my own dancing? It can sometimes be, I think, a very difficult balance. So what is your way of dealing with it?
So I think there's a good thing called priorities. You have to always know what's your priorities. For me, my dancing is my priority. So as long as whatever I need to do to earn the money, either shows, performances, teaching, lectures, whatever it is, as long as they don't interfere with it too much. So let's say I have a rule, no more than 3 days I can stay without practice.
Okay.
I just don't do it, because I feel that if it goes over 3 days without practice or exercise, my body starts to go into a different field. And it takes me too long to recover. So instead of improving, I'm going a little bit back. Of course, 2 or 3 days is good, because your body needs also recovery. But if it goes a little over, then I don't like it. So whatever we book, we try to book as much that we still are able to do the exercises, whatever it is. And try not to sacrifice any of it. So planning, very good planning.
So you found the way, you found the balance, like how many days you can be away without practice, and then basically probably trial and error, and then you found the way that works, and then this is what you are to generate your schedule. Okay. If anyone would meet you for the first time, what do you think their opinion of you would be? You know, the first impression, what are the thoughts that they would have about you?
I'll just say what I had few comments from the people, let's say, who see me, who kind of know me, but the first time you have a conversation, a little bit longer conversation, they always say, oh my God, but you look so like, you know, you have no problem, you're so secure and you're so confident, and there's never a problem with you, with your balance, with your anything. And I find this is a bit misleading, because I'm very much a human being. I am a very sensitive person. I'm a very vulnerable person. It's very easy to hurt me. So many times I have to sometimes kind of put things aside to just protect myself, not to get hurt.
So do you think you hide a little bit behind the facade, or behind the outside picture? Do you think you
I do.
hide a little bit your natural
I do.
self?
I do. And I think I'm good in communication with people, but it's usually quite a superficial communication at first.
Of course, yes. Yeah.
In a sense, like I'm quite good at a social conversation, how's the weather, but to go a little bit
deeper in,
yes, it would take a little time, and I have to trust person.
Of course.
Otherwise, I'm a little bit afraid that I'm gonna get hurt, because I'm very sensitive and very, very vulnerable, and I just don't feel like I want to put myself in this situation. So that's why I get a little bit sort of, okay, I'm professional, this is what I have to do, and I'm just gonna go for that.
Okay.
It's not always works, but I'm doing my best.
You do what you have to do, right?
Exactly.
So recently, just for the UK, you've turned professional, and of course, I'm sure, as for everyone else, it was probably a big thing for you, a big step, or a change. Yeah. How did you deal with your own expectations of yourself? Did you have any particular expectations of yourselves? Did you feel that other people had expectations of you? Maybe your teachers, maybe your families, maybe your friends, your support group. How did you deal with all this, in a way, pressure, which of course is natural as well? And do you feel you dealt well with it?
Well, I'll say, let's start with the expectations of others. Of course, I'll be lying to say I don't care what people think of me, because it's part of our life. So of course we do care about what people say, but in a way I have to always put it aside, because otherwise it can influence your judgment on what you want to choose as an artist. So in a way I try not to worry so much about the expectations of other people's on our result, or on our performance, let's put it this way. With the expectations of myself, it's a harder story because I am very judgmental of myself. I'm very hard on myself. I expect a lot from myself. And there I find most struggle.
Yeah.
If I go towards this competition that we did at the UK as a first professional competition, I did feel, of course, the pressure, but it was much less pressure than to be first in amateurs.
Okay.
Because it's a new field, you're testing your ground, you experiment with a bit of a new thing. I did new hair, new dress a little bit, so it was more sort of let me just get into it, let me feel it, let me go and show how I feel it at the moment.
Yeah.
And that was quite helpful because it was much less pressure, but of course it's gonna go up for sure.
Whenever it is next time that you're going to be on that floor, hopefully soon.
Yes, hopefully soon, but yes, still I had to say that I felt great in professional. I felt belong, and I felt like it was a great competition for us.
Yeah, so you enjoyed the moment. You enjoyed
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good to hear. Okay, now I'm going to ask you 5 quick questions, so please just answer whatever it is that comes into your mind. Don't overthink. So basically the first instinctive answer. What makes you angry?
Injustice.
Okay. Are you a good cook?
Very good cook.
Oh.
I cooked lasagna this morning.
Oh, for breakfast?
No, for afternoon. It takes a little time.
Yeah. Okay. Pizza or pasta?
Pasta, let's say.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Both.
What kind of superpower would you like to have? Would you rather be invisible or would you rather be able to fly?
Invisible. And I would like to be invisible and travel on time.
You cannot choose both.
So I could be like this little fly going into, I don't know, back in whatever year and see what's going on, and go further forward in the time and see what's going on there.
But
So then you can see for yourself.
Choose one.
Okay, invisible still.
Okay. What inspires you? This is not part of the 5 quick ones, so you can elaborate.
What inspires me?
Yeah.
Can't say one thing really. There's many things inspiring. I'm a very actually curious person. If you see, I like to read a lot. I do actually. I prefer audiobooks. I read a lot of things on politics. I read a lot of things in classical genre and detective stories. So I'm kind of like all over the place.
Okay.
And things can happen just by itself, you know, just by being curious all around, something comes out. Sometimes inspiration comes from within, from inner gear that you want to achieve something.
Yeah.
And generally what I feel that I wanted to achieve always is to be the best version of myself.
Yeah. And
that means know more, express more, perform more, exercise more. So I feel that drive that I have to be always curious and always hungry for something, to be better version of myself, I think that's the biggest inspiration. And then you of course pick and choose from people around you, from social media many times, from videos, from the books, from anything that you could do.
Yeah. Do you feel the inspiration comes easily to you, or do you feel you have to work at it?
Depending on the period. Sometimes very hard. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it just flows and you feel like you don't have enough time to do everything that you have in the mind. So it depends.
Okay. To round up, I would like to know, what is the moment from your dance career so far that you think you will remember the most?
I'll say Royal Albert Hall and our last honor dance as amateur champions. I always loved that competition. It was always my favorite one.
Okay.
Just loved the Central London. I loved Royal Albert Hall, and to stand there in the middle of this beautiful floor and to have our letter read out loud, and of course we put a lot of thought in it and a lot of our soul into making that letter. So that whole scenario of our whole industry watching and listening to our letter and us dancing our last dance as an amateur was just special. Okay. Felt like a beautiful thing.
Okay, so I hope you will still have a lot of other cherished moments to come, but it's nice to hear about the one that has been so far the highlight.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining me on Beyond the Dance Floor. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure a lot of people would love to see this and to try and get a little bit more impression of who you are as a person outside of the dance floor. So thank you very much for being brave and coming on. And
it's my pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.